What the hell is going on? Why is nobody showing up? Hey, excuse me! You want to come work at Dick & Bob's for minimum wage?
No.
That's because your generation is lazy! You got all comfy during the pandemic, nobody knows how to work anymore!
They're saying you people here might have a job.
Oh, yes, please, have a seat. So what kind of experience do you have?
Well, I was working down at the Bud factory in Fort Collins, but then Joe Biden caused a recession, so they took my job.
Ooh!
Then I worked over at Waffle House, but they decided they needed employees to be more inclusive, so they took my job. And then I got let go from the bowling alley, and all I want is a damn job.
Well, I believe that we here at Dick & Bob's would like to hire you immediately.
Okay. Can I work from home?
What? No, you can't work from home at the hot dog stand.
Well, I could work here, but I'll need mental health days off to deal with the toxic environment.
Where do people get this stuff? All right, fine, never mind. We don't want to hire you.
You're gonna take my job? They took my job! Took my job!
TV10 podcast episode 0443.
That's right. 443 episodes where you get to hear about the latest in TV news, all the reviews, and Utah booze.
Yeah.
We are that podcast that matters, trademark, that
Yes.
delivers all that stuff.
Yeah, so I'm Bill Frost. I'm in snowy, cold Salt Lake City. And you over there, where are you at?
Well, I would be Tommy Milagro, and I am not in Utah. I am out on location here in Roseville, California. Now, Roseville, for those of you that are not familiar, is a suburb of Sacramento, or Sacktown as it were. And again, for our Utah listeners that are not familiar with Roseville, think of it as California's answer to we'll say Midville. So it's actually it's got that nice little appeal to it.
Okay, very nice. And I'm sure it's not snowing there, right?
Oh gosh, I am contending with cold temperatures right now at a record low of, let's see here, 59 degrees last time I checked the weather forecast. Let's see. Oh, I'm sorry. It's 58 right now. Oh, it rose a temperature. It's just sunny and clear skies right now. Oh, I am I am just dealing with a living hell right now. I'll try to broadcast as long as possible as weather permits.
Yeah. Good for you. All right. And drinking this week, Sugar House Distillery. That's the sponsor of the week here.
That's what you're drinking over there at the TV10 Podcast Studios. Now, he is in the fourth basement. That's our Sugar House Studios, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Meanwhile, because the rest of the world hasn't woken up to the joys of Utah distilleries, wake up, sheeple. I have to make do with an old Forester and Coke. I mean, I'm living like a goddamn savage right now.
Old Forester. Okay.
Well, they have a Bevmo out there, which they're no boutique. They have a lot of selection, but you know what I noticed? They didn't have a lot of selection of bitters. Now, they got orange bitters, they got lime bitters, no mole bitters for me to make a Oaxacan old-fashioned. My God, California, what is wrong with you, okay? Get on the train.
Oh, my God. It's almost like you're on that Yellow Jackets.
Jeez. I'm about ready to chew off somebody's ear at this point. Oh, spoiler alert. Anyway,
Lend me your ear. Yes. All right.
there's
Spoiler.
our title right now.
Sorry for the
uh,
spoiler, but yeah.
yeah,
New
yeah.
season of Yellow Jackets dropped early, at least on the streaming version of Showtime. Dropped on Friday, so I've already seen the first episode of the new season, and
As have I.
got my Tori Amos on.
Oh, jeez.
Do you consider yourself more of a cornflake girl or a raisin girl?
Well, it's pretty obvious. I mean, we are liberals, so therefore, cornflake. I mean,
Okay,
we flake,
yeah.
therefore we
Just
are.
just so you know, Tori Amos in that song meant the cornflake girls are the boring girls, and the raisin
Mhm.
girls are the interesting ones, the cool girls.
So see, cornflake.
Yeah,
I am going to stay with this. I will die on this hill. Just
stick
give
with
me
it.
some milk and we're good. Yeah.
Yeah. So some new stuff coming up this week. Let me get this out of the way right now.
Okay.
The seventh and final season of Riverdale starts rolling out on Wednesday on the CW. And
Okay.
just to catch you up here, at the end
Yes.
of last season, they averted a comet striking Riverdale, but doing so sent them back to the year 1955.
Mm.
And only Jughead realizes that they're from the future.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's Riverdale.
Um.
That's what's going on in Riverdale.
All right.
Yeah.
So as a certain movie critic here would say, you buy the bit, you buy the premise.
Yeah.
I think that's the safest way to deal with Riverdale, folks. If you can deal with a Montreal Mafia, the Montreal Maple Syrup
Uh-huh.
Mafia,
Oh
you can
yeah.
fucking deal with time travel.
Yeah. And also all of the actors now on the show are in their mid to late 20s and they're playing teenagers in this new season again, so that's hilarious.
Naturally.
Yeah.
But then again, we dealt with this with Beverly Hills 90210. Nothing different. Again, you buy the bit, you buy the premise.
Yeah, also coming up on Wednesday on Apple TV Plus, a new series called The Big Door Prize starring Chris O'Dowd. Might remember him from
Ooh.
Bridesmaids. It's about a small town, small southern town, and a weird vending machine turns up in the local grocery store. And for a buck or so, it will spit out your ultimate destiny, what you're destined to be.
Huh.
So
Why do I feel like I've heard this before?
yeah, so this is kind of a bit of a mashup of The Good Place and Schitt's Creek, and so that's not bad.
But it also has that element of big. You
Yeah, oh yeah,
remember
oh yeah.
the
Tom Hanks.
whatchamacallit? Yeah, with the whatchamacallit, the fortune telling vending
Yeah,
machine.
yeah.
So okay,
It's kind of like
but
that.
all right. But Chris O'Dowd has been known to be a funny person. I mean, let's face it, he's from England, so therefore, or
Very, very much so. Yeah.
okay.
On Thursday, we have a new Rob Lowe comedy. Believe it or not,
Do
I don't
those
know if
words go together?
they do because I don't know if you
Okay.
watch. I don't know if you've ever tried to watch 911 Lone Star.
hmm
Yeah, it's that show. Well, that show sucks, but and it's
Well, it's
incredibly,
unintentionally funny as a thing.
yeah, unintentionally funny, unintentionally earnest, and every once in a while, Rob Lowe drops in a joke or two. But in this
Okay.
one, he's going full on funny. He plays a biotech CEO. He's a wild eccentric, and he's got a sort of a introvert son who comes to work with him, played by Rob Lowe's real son, John Owen.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right.
See, they've worked together before. There was a series on A&E in 2017 called The Lowe Files, where Rob Lowe and his two sons, John Owen and the other one, who I don't remember his name, they would travel the country looking for ghosts and Bigfoots and UFOs. They made a stop in Utah during the series.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
Oh, this is
they
awesome.
tried to get into Dugway Proving Grounds. Didn't happen, but
They couldn't get to the Skinwalker Ranch. What was the deal?
yeah, I think they've completely skipped by Skinwalker Ranch. I don't know
Huh?
why. Maybe I don't know why they skipped that, but this, from what I've seen of it, Rob Lowe is fucking funny in this. He's just
And
wild and
uh,
crazy guy.
what's the name of the show again?
It is called Unstable, and it's on Netflix starting Thursday.
Okay.
And
So
also,
once again,
yeah,
yeah. No, just
and
Netflix once again screwing me over, not
screwing
giving
you
me
over
my
again.
comedy special.
Yeah. Also on Friday, Yeah, this is where the budget for your comedy special is going. Murder Mystery 2. I don't know if you saw Murder Mystery 1. Not great. This is another Adam Sandler joint with Jennifer
Uh,
Aniston.
keep going. Keep
Yeah,
going.
yeah. Also on Friday, a new movie Tetris on Apple TV Plus. It's not a dystopian drama based on the Tetris game. It's actually a docudrama about how Tetris came to be invented.
Now
A,
that
a
actually is interesting.
Yeah,
And
so this
that's got
stars
what's his name? Oh yeah, you're gonna tell us. Sorry.
yeah, with the Taron Egerton with a mustache. He plays
A
a Dutch
mustache?
mustache. He plays the Dutch entrepreneur who you know, going traveling to late 80s Soviet Union Russia was
Mhm.
not really well advised at the time, but he did it to work with this software engineer to bring Tetris to the world.
Yeah.
So
And
it's
and
like
wackiness ensues.
The Social Network with blocks. Really, is what you got here.
But at this time, at least it's somebody not creeping on an ex girlfriend and creating a platform that destabilizes everybody, everything, everywhere, all at once. Yeah, I went down that rabbit hole, folks.
By the way, find us on Facebook at TV10 Podcast, and also on Friday, new series based on a book. It's called The Power, and it stars Tony Collette and John Leguizamo, who's fucking everywhere these days.
Yeah.
And it's set in an alternate universe where suddenly, out of nowhere, teen girls have the power to electrocute you at will.
Okay.
So naturally, this disrupts the balance of power in the world. The title works on several levels.
Hmm.
Yeah, so just
I
imagine millions of teen girls who can kill you just by thinking
okay.
about it.
Well, don't they do that already with TikTok and when they cancel us? I
Yeah, well,
mean,
this is physical and permanent.
oh, okay. So this is a permanent cancellation.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is the ultimate cancellation.
All right.
On
I will go
Saturday,
with it.
on
Hmm.
Saturday, April Fool's Day,
Hmm.
WrestleMania 39.
Oh, are we getting into sports at this point,
Not
or?
yet, not yet. Just mentioning it
Mm,
because also for April Fool's Day, I came up with some titles that could probably fool some people, but probably not, since no one falls for that shit anymore. Um, imagine a new series called Abbott Penitentiary.
okay. Well, oh,
Not it's a thinker.
yeah, I love it already. So
Also premiering on Dismax Plus, Pedro Pascal, post-apocalyptic babysitter.
say that again. We may have a bit of a connection issue.
Maybe it just wasn't funny. Pedro Pascal, post-apocalyptic babysitter.
Okay, okay. I like this already.
That's on
When
that's on Dismax Plus.
Well, if only Saturday Night Live got a hold of these, this would have been great. Except, we had Mario Kart, the dystopian
Yeah,
version there.
yeah.
It's a me,
How about
Mario.
Tucker exclamation point the musical on the Fox
Ugh,
Nationalist channel?
why
I
can't
think this
they see what the questions are about me?
Yep. I think this one's really going to take off. The Real Housewives of Yellowstone on Bravo Mount Plus,
Oh, I would love this. Ugh.
and wrapping up with Ted Lasso's Severance.
Oh, so this is like the dystopian Ted Lasso,
The
huh?
dystopian Ted Lasso. Yep.
I never thought there would be such a thing, but here we go.
Yeah.
Oh, I love these titles.
Yeah.
So,
That's the new shit happening this week. And
okay.
I did finish in its entirety Daisy Jones in the Six.
Ooh,
Basically
I haven't had a chance.
the show that's pretty much Fleetwood Mac fan fiction. And it takes
Uh,
until almost the I think it's 10 episodes. In the ninth episode, an actual Fleetwood Mac song finally shows up in the soundtrack.
okay. Just so you know, that's our alternate title, Fleetwood Mac fan fiction. By the way, I
Yeah,
we
yeah,
got some good ones here.
I think I'd recommend this one, Daisy Jones in the Six. It's on Prime Video. Story of a California rock band who rises to fame when They're just the six, and then all of a sudden, this firebrand Stevie Nicks type named Daisy Jones comes along and takes them to superstardom. But of course, everybody's fucking everybody else in the band, and drugs, alcohol,
The
all the
huge.
shit, the usual, yeah. And then we pick up with them years later, and there's a documentary twist at the end.
So here's my question: on a scale of 1 to Agent Elvis, how does this rank?
Well, it's nowhere close to Agent Elvis. I mean,
Because it is, it's
Agent
great.
Elvis is a true story.
Yeah, and it has a monkey in it.
Yeah,
How can you not go wrong with a monkey?
Daisy Jones in the Six does not have a monkey. So
See, once again, Amazon Prime, you just miss the mark every single goddamn time.
there are a lot of stand-up specials on Amazon Prime too, and there are
And
always people I've never heard of. So I don't know why you're not on there.
exactly. I blame Jeff Bezos and the deal he has to deal with his nuptials. So what I'm just saying, Jeff Bezos, is you missed the boat, and I'm not going to stay at the train station.
Yeah,
That sounds about right in my head. So let's go with that.
yeah, and we're recording
All right.
early. We're recording early-ish on Sunday, so we're all, of course, waiting for Succession, the fourth
Oh,
and
is that
final
what we're
season to
waiting for?
begin. That's what I'm waiting for. I don't know about
Okay.
you. Are
Well,
you up on Succession?
no, I haven't
Have I
because
asked this
I don't
before and we just forgot?
I just if I just don't want to deal with any more family drama or anything that triggers family drama. That's kind of where I'm at this point.
You don't want to.
Now,
You don't want to spend an hour with some of the worst people on the planet.
um, well, normally I'd say yes, but I already dealt with
Okay.
the Utah legislature, so
Okay.
therefore triggering. That's where I'm
Right.
at this point. But a lot can happen, so we'll see. Well, maybe I might just binge through that. I'm trying to think of what I got through seeing other than Yellow Jackets the other day. But yeah, nothing can compare to Yellow Jackets at this point, or their soundtrack for that matter. So
And I would
yeah.
also shrinking on Apple TV Plus. Jason Segel, Harrison Ford, Jessica Williams wrapped up on Friday. Excellent show. Highly recommend it. On the other hand, Hello Tomorrow. I don't think they thought this through. We're still in timeshares on the moon, but you know we don't actually have the money to get there. And Billy Crudup is selling his ass off, and I don't see where this show is going. It's certainly not going to
Um,
the moon.
So basically, you're saying they're in a lost dilemma. They created this, and now
They
they
got no
got no
follow
end
through.
game.
They got no follow through.
Yep, and this is why you got to have a follow through, ladies and gentlemen. If you pay attention to our segment, where we can offer you, yes, you, the TV executive, going, "What the fuck did I get this show for?" Greenlit.
Mm-hmm.
You can reach out to us, and we can give you, the Hollywood executive, an end game. It may not be the best end game, but you will find an end game, which you can only subscribe for only 10,000 a month. That is a very reasonable price for what you get paid for in the Hollywood Hills.
Yeah,
You blue liberal,
that's
and
a
therefore,
that's a big fucking bargain, really.
well, that's our cubic zirconia price,
Yes,
which
yes.
we only offer to our finest TV10 listeners there. And we know that we can get your ear and we can get you the fuck out of Dodge with your shit show. So just remember, 10,000 bucks. That is our subscription price. We will take PayPal or Venmo. No, no crypto. I'm looking at you, Matt Damon. I'm looking hard at you.
And I'm happy yet disappointed to report that the current season of South Park, I believe it's
Oh,
season 25 or 26, I don't recall,
oh dear.
but it's only 6 episodes long. So episode number 5 finally delivered a funny episode
Oh,
straight through. It's straight up,
so
no Tegrity Farms, none of that
hmm,
shit. It's about Butters and Cartman starting a hot dog stand. The name of the
okay.
hot dog stand is Dick and Boss. Put our Dick and
Uh,
Boss in your mouth.
I see what you're doing
It's
here.
juvenile
Trey
as
Parker
fuck, but
metaphor.
it totally worked, and it's
Mhm.
some good old fashioned South Park fun. Finally, now that the season is almost over.
Yeah. This is the same shit that The Simpsons ran into a few years ago.
Simpsons did it.
Yeah. Well, they had the same. They had the jokes. They just didn't land all the way. So, but at the time, they had an excuse. They were creating the Simpsons movie, and we've talked about it here at TV Tan Podcast. Which, by the way, you could just check back previous episodes to see our genius at work. Um, my question is, and you've talked about it before. They inked a deal. They can do these shows in perpetuity.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
that's a
a good
word.
word.
That's a word.
But they also have to do some movies as well. So I'm kind of wondering if maybe they're stretching themselves a little thin, like they did at
Maybe,
The Simpsons.
but recently the South Park seasons have only been like 6 episodes, so it's not like a
Okay.
big lift here.
But at the same time, if they're not landing, even with the shorter, and I'm kind of joking, but I'm kind of serious. Why the fuck are you even doing this, guys? I mean, what's the difference here? What's not hitting at this point?
We say
So
as we're 443 episodes in.
I know we at least have an excuse. We're not that popular. I'm half drunk half the time. What's your fucking
We are
excuse,
not
guys?
professionals. We are not.
Exactly.
We are not Hollywood professionals.
Not yet. Not
We are.
yet. Let's get that out of the way. We don't
We are
have that.
just. We are just clowns with a podcast.
What- I mean, seriously. I mean, we don't have Cannibal the Musical money on our fingertips. Which brings me to a point. Do I need to reach out to Lloyd Kaufman for an interview and give him an elevator pitch for our podcast? Just asking for a friend.
He's still alive, right?
Last time I checked, yeah.
Okay.
And if I can't get him, we could get James Gunn. That's his protege, as it
Oh
were.
yeah, he's an easy get. Okay.
Yeah.
It's now that time. Get ready.
Oh, okay. In that case, hit the music.
It's sports with Tommy Milagro. Go team.
From the Sports Desk of a TV10 podcast, we deliver to you only the sport of professional wrestling. And we're heading down to the granddaddy of them all. That's right, WrestleMania is just around the corner here, and it's a 2-night event. If you go to Peacock, that's right, you have to flock to the cock in order to watch both nights. And this is what you can expect. And as of right now, the card is subject to change, but these are the matches you could expect at least for night one. It's going to be Austin Theory versus, wait for it,
Mm-hmm.
HBO Max's Peacemaker. That's right, John Cena will challenge for the WWE United States Championship. And, you know, this John Cena guy, I guess he's done some wrestling before. Of course, you wouldn't know because you
He's
watch
dabbled.
Peacemaker. Yeah,
He's
he's
dabbled. Yeah.
dabbled a bit. We'll see how it goes, and it'll be interesting because he'll have longer hair. Also, we will have Seth frickin' Rollins going up against Logan Paul. Ugh.
Still doing this,
And
huh?
yeah, and once again, we at TV10 Podcast state the following: stop making garbage people famous, and just
Yep.
stop. But also, it's going to be it's also going to have Trish Stratus, Lita, and Becky Lynch in six woman tag match against Damage Control, the team of Bailey, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky. So that's what you could expect right there. Other matches that have been announced here, but again, card subject to change. There's going to be a triple. There's going to be a Hell in the Cell matchup with Edge versus Judgment Day's Finn Balor. We're also going to get Rey Mysterio versus Dominic Mysterio. So it's a father and son matchup right there. That looks to be the sleeper match right there. Also, we're going to have another championship matchups here. There's a three-way match between Gunther, the current Intercontinental Champion, he'll be defending his title against Sheamus and Drew McIntyre. Then on the women's side, you got Bianca Belair versus Asuka for the WWE Raw Women's Championship, and Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley for the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship. But the big one on night 2 is going to be the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns. He will put up the undisputed WWE Universal Heavyweight Championship against, excuse me 1 second here. Pardon me, just had to clear my throat. Roman Reigns will defend his Universal Championship against Cody Rhodes. Cody! The
Oh,
American Nightmare.
okay.
That, yeah, that is going to be, that's 2 nights that you have lots of action to catch up on, but there are other wrestling events going on as well. We haven't talked about Red Badge of Courage wrestling lately.
Still a thing,
Uh,
right?
it is still a thing, and it is still owned by Tony Khan. And I bring it up because on March 31st, it's going to be the first Ring of Honor matchup of the of 2023, and it's going to be Super Card of Honor, and this honestly looks like this is worth all the money in the world here. This is going to have, among other things here, great matchups such as Claudio Castagnoli defending the ROH World Title against Eddie Kingston, then to crown new ROH Tag Team Champions since Jay Briscoe lost his life in a car accident. We are going to have a Reach for the Sky ladder match, and this is going to feature the talent from Ring of Honor as well as All Elite Wrestling. So that's going to be Dralisco and Rush of La Facción Ingobernable versus the Kingdom, which is Matt Damon and Mike Bennett, versus Aussie Open. They have fought in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and the Lucha Brothers and Top Flight for the vacant ROH tag team titles. And speaking of which, Mark Briscoe, dem boy, he will face up against the current ROH television champion Samoa Joe for the championship. That is going to be the action you can check out. And of course, now that is going to be, I think it's going to be on Bleacher Report. Let me just take a look here. I was trying to see how you could watch that. Now, either way, it could be on Honor Club. No, actually, I don't believe it's going to be on Honor Club. But the important thing is, um, as we always say here at TV Tan Podcast, Ring of Honor, not a sponsor of the TV Tan Podcast.
Maybe you'll be
So,
on maybe you'll be on one of the gas pumps at your local gas
um,
station.
I don't know. Well, it's possible. I mean, Maverick is Avengers First Up, which interestingly,
Yeah.
no Mavericks anywhere in California.
Really? Huh.
Yeah, I haven't noticed a single one of late. But
How about Circle K?
Circle K, nope, haven't seen that either. See a
Hmm.
lot of Arco, so
Oh yeah, I remember Arco
yeah,
as a kid.
it's
Okay.
yeah. But I think the other thing to talk about is that Impact Wrestling also had their Sacrifice pay-per-view. We at Slam Wrestling covered the event. Oh, did I mention I write for Slam Wrestling?
Hmm.
Um,
How
I
about that?
Yeah, of course I don't. It's not because I have an MBA.
Oh,
Yeah,
there we go
and
again.
how
All right.
how does that genius juice coming down?
So good.
Uh, yeah, great. It was a great event there and up in Windsor, Ontario, Canada. Did I mention that TV Tam podcast is internationally known in Canada?
Hmm.
So just something to bring up here for people that want to know why TV Tam podcast is the only podcast that matters. Trademark.
Yes.
Yes, but and I think I'm going to end it with this. Now, sadly, I am in California, and somehow I have to contend with all the sunshine. However, this is the results of the Road to WrestleMania stop in the Maverick Center in West Valley City. This is on the news and rumors section here. I wish I could take credit for this, but if anything, to help out with Slam Wrestling, just because I have an MBA and marketing is an important thing here, you know. So take another sip of the genius juice there.
Ready to go. Yep.
Anyway, Bianca Belair defeated Chelsea Green and Becky Lynch and retained the Raw Women's Championship. Also, Bronson Reed beat Johnny Gargano, and Asuka and Mia Yim beat Io Sky and Dakota Kai from Control or Damage Control. And then in a 6-man matchup, it was Cody Rhodes, Braun Strowman, and Ricochet beat the Usos and Solo Sikoa of the Bloodline. That would be Roman Reigns' group there. Interesting. The Brawling Brutes beat Imperium, and Charlotte Flair, woo, beat Liv Morgan and Sonya Deville to retain the SmackDown Women's Championship. And finally, Austin Theory beat Seth freaking Rollins for the United States Championship. Now, these are mostly tune-up matches to prepare on the road to WrestleMania. So there's a good chance those could be the favorites going in for both nights at the granddaddy of them all in Hollywood, California. But just know, oh, and also I almost forgot this. Finally, the because you are jonesing for XFL scores here.
Oh yeah,
We
yeah. Let's not forget that.
God, and we are still going straight into it at week 6, and this will tie into the last sports story that I have here.
Are the
As we're
Jacksonville Snot Rockets still in it?
They are so out of contention. It is
Aw.
not even funny here. But and I'll tell you right now that speaking of teams not in contention, the Brahmas, who have a 2-4 record, they managed to beat the Renegades 15-9. And then on Saturday, the Seattle Sea Dragons beat up on the Guardians 26-19. They're 4-2 at this point. The Battlehawks just did a rout on the Vegas Vipers, 29-6 here. And as we are talking live on air on Monday, March 27th on ESPN2, it's going to be the Roughnecks versus that's the Houston Roughnecks versus the DC Defenders. The Defenders are 5-0 at this point there. That'll be on at 5 p.m. I want to say that's Pacific time. It could be Mountain time. Check your TV scores on ESPN2. The Dose, as we call it here at TV Tam Podcast here. And then finally this, I think this, and only just because it's a nice segue from XFL, which is owned by Dwayne Johnson, you know, The Rock,
That guy,
or
yeah.
also Black Adam. This is where the sports desk issues the following. You were right about Black Adam, and here's the reason why. And again, this is at slamwrestling.net, written by our own senior editor, Bob Kapoor. Although Dwayne The Rock Johnson played a superhero in the movie Black Adam, according to Hollywood insiders, his backstage machinations have some people in Hollywood seeing him as a real life villain. So basically, he tried to make himself Black Adam as the linchpin of the DC universe and make it a central figure. But because of that, according to this, in trying to position his Black Adam character, quote, as a central figure in the DCU, Johnson made key decisions that minimize Shazam's prestige level in the eyes of ticket buyers. So the movie, that's Shazam: Fury of the Gods, grossed $30 million in its opening weekend, a decrease of over 40%. That's 40% from the first Shazam film's opening weekend. And also, Dwayne Johnson fought to feature a mid-credit scene with Black Adam that saw his character face off against Superman, even though Black Adam is the natural enemy of Captain Marvel, aka Shazam,
Yeah.
because
Okay.
we read comics. And apparently in another power play, Johnson allegedly vetoed a post-credit scene in his movie that would have seen Shazam, played by Zachary Levi, being recruited into the Justice Society of America by characters that have been featured heavily in Black Adam, and had reportedly blocked the use of those characters in Fury of the Gods. So, again, the sports desk is never wrong, except in this case. And again, to you, Mr. Frost, you have told me, even though I said Morbius is the worst comic book movie out there, you're right in this instance. The numbers
Okay.
do not lie. And why? Because it's sports.
And sports are Tommy Milagro. Go team.
I'm
Interesting
okay to.
factoid.
Oh,
Interesting
yes.
factoid about Morbius.
Yes.
The highly acclaimed movie Everything Everywhere All at Once just recently just recently made as much money as Morbius did over its entire run.
And that movie, Everything Everywhere, swept
Yep.
the Oscars.
Yeah. So just to give you a little perspective on money there, Morbius still made a fuck ton of money that it took Everything Everywhere All at Once a year and change to catch up to it.
Wow.
Especially with all the acclaim and everything. So there's that. And, I think we should have gotten to this earlier, but I'd swear we have some listener mailbag.
Yes, we do. So let's see here. Dealer's choice. I'm going to go with our Twitter page. That's at TV10 Podcast. And our own Dr. Paul White writes to us and says, to you, thanks, Bill Frost, for the Canadian list on TV10 Podcast. I was thinking of shows made for Canada, forgot about Flash Forward, as it was a Canadian book. So yes, sci-fi is mostly Canadian, and also a thanks to me for the XFL report. Is XFL a sign for getting rid of Florida?
It's just one of many.
I think Ron DeSantis is a reason for drowning Florida, which I would never want to have happen right now on account of my family lives in Florida. Therefore,
Meatball Ron.
yeah. Or
Yeah,
actually,
I know some people in Florida too. So yeah, I don't know. It's a tough call.
Yeah, I mean, there are certain aspects of Florida that should be drowned, but
Yeah.
there's cooler parts that do need to be drowned, or not drowned, I should say. And then finally, in our Facebooks, that would be our other squatty here, Ted Hansen. Uh, is that the right term, squatty?
Squatty?
Squatty, whatever. Anyway,
Well, Taylor Swift
Ted
has Taylor Swift has her Swifties.
Mm-hmm.
Beyonce has her Bayhive.
Actually, okay, I got it solved here.
Okay.
We have our Tanners at TV10.
All right. That'll work.
That works for me. Anyway, he writes, Fox News report. I watch so you don't have to. Oh, Ted. Why does Greg Gutfield wear a Gigi Allin shirt? Does he like his music? Does he have shit thrown at him? Does he like sexual assault? And if not, does he wear it ironically? To garner street cred. And if so, why not wear a mentor shirt? Or is he just dumb like the rest of us? As dumb as Axel wearing a Charles Manson shirt or Marilyn Manson being Marilyn Manson? These are questions that we're just asking. That's all we're doing here.
Going back 20
Bravo,
years or
Ted.
so.
Bravo.
Going back 20 years or so with Greg Gutfeld and Red Eye, which came on at 3:00 in the morning on Fox News, and I was usually up watching it. Guar's Odorous Arungus was a frequent guest in costume, in character. And it was fucking hilarious. And
So basically, this is when Gutfield was funny.
Well, he's still funny in a way,
Hmm.
but I just don't know if he means. I don't know if he's right there in that Tucker train where it's like, oh, this is just an act, and I believe all this shit or not. But Greg Gutfeld in the past has declared some decent music cred as far as stuff he's a fan of. So he's not all, you know. He, I don't think he's wearing that ironically.
Which this is a question I have recently since we're talking politics because this podcast is so political.
Totally so
Um,
political. I
yeah.
can't listen to
Uh,
it
so
anymore.
uh, so I watched the Daily Show and it had its new guest host and oh God, why am I blanking on his name all of a sudden here? That's how white and bland
Well, let's
this
see.
guy
We were
is.
talking about last week how the guest host lineup so far has been, women and brown people. It's like no
Yeah.
white guys in sight. Now all of a sudden, here we have. You still don't remember his name?
I don't know why I'm blanking. That means
Al
the
Franken.
genius juice is. That's it. Thank you.
Al Franken.
Okay.
Saturday Night Live's Al Franken.
Oh, and former Minnesota senator.
Oh, there's that too. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think. Well, tell me how you felt about this because his first night he had Lindsey Graham, and to me, unless you saw something different, it felt like Lindsey Graham just owned him, and I'm going, no, this is not how this is supposed to go here. I get that they're kind of buddy buddy when they were in the Senate at the time, but at the same, it was like Lindsey Graham was just schooling him, and I'm thinking, no, Trevor Noah or Jon Stewart on his worst day, or even Cal Penn or Hassan or Leslie Jones, anybody
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
would have would have just owned this debutante. So tell me I'm wrong. Tell
I
me
don't
I'm
think.
wrong
I
here.
don't think you're wrong. I don't think you're wrong.
Yeah. And I really do like Al Franken. I don't know. This week it just felt off for some reason. So uh,
But
who's
now
going to be who's next after this week?
that's the thing. We don't know yet. They're
Oh,
not going to crown a new host of the Daily Show until the fall. So we've got months and months of guest hosts to come, and they've only announced up until the end of March. So I'm guessing we'll have an announcement probably by end of this week, at least, as to who is hosting. Because there's a lot of interest in it. Because I wrote an article for CableTV.com, which is a very, very simple article saying, okay, here's all the guest hosts up until March that are going to be on. And that page just
hmm.
blew up in views. So a lot of people are very interested as to who's hosting the Daily Show.
Yeah. Um, right now, I would honestly say if I had to pick my top three, just based on the guest hosts that have been shown on,
Mm-hmm.
it it should be, and this is my front runner, Cal Penn, because I think he had the right gravitas to not only be funny but also work the room.
Mm-hmm.
Then Hassan Minaj, and maybe that might be problematic just because of whatever work he's doing with the Patriot, if that's still a thing. And the way that he owned that one guy from Shark Tank, beautiful. And third, and this would be a dark horse favorite, but it would be so awesome to see Chelsea Handler. And again, I think she offered a great perspective, and just to say that you had a woman, a female, I guess, head of the Daily Show would just be fantastic, especially somebody that just doesn't care for kids. I
Yeah.
think that's just beautiful.
Yeah. So as for future guest hosts, we got to have Samantha Bee in. That's got to
Yes,
happen.
that has to
And
happen.
I don't know if we're going to get Jon Stewart or Stephen Colbert. They're busy with their own things.
Yeah.
It would be pretty funny if they did show up, or maybe even Craig Kilborn. Dig him up.
That wow, if you can just lift him out of mothballs from wherever the fuck he was, I would be shocked as all get out. Especially considering that, and I'm quoting Dave Chappelle from when Jon Stewart got the got the Mark Twain honor. His exact words were, you know, and I'll say this to you, John Stewart, Craig Kilborn did that thing, but all due respect, yuck. So
Okay.
he actually said that. But here's the thing, and I think this is something we need to talk to the Daily Show producers. We know you're listening to the only podcast that matters about TV, trademark.
Yes.
Mr. Frost and I, we are available. We would have to be a tandem. We would be like Colin Jost and Michael Che, except not
Mm-hmm.
and funny. We can do politics. We can deliver the headlines. We can roll with Ronnie Chang. Bill here will have to roll with Roy Wood Jr. And I don't know. Maybe we can help out with Dulcie Sloan. The point is, we're
Okay.
available. We only ask so little, just 500,000 upfront money, and you can have us for a week. So just dump your money at the TV Dan Podcast Studios. There's there's a chute that leads to
Yeah.
the sixth basement. That's where we swim in our money.
Yeah.
So
It's a
just know
refurbished
that
coal
it's
chute,
there.
but yes. Yeah.
Yeah, well, cold chute, please. Pfft. He's so modest here. That's our money chute, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, it is
That
now.
is
Yeah.
where, yeah, yeah, that's where we get all the money dumped in, especially by our fine sponsors of the TV Town podcast.
And speaking of that, we're gonna wrap it here. We're
Okay.
gonna please tell us all of our sponsors.
Gee, I mean, right now, as you can see, or correction, if you could see with the teddy bear nanny cams positioned in the Sugar House Studios, Mr. Frost is enjoying some fine beverages from Sugar House Distillery, the OG sponsor of the TV 10 podcast.
Mm-hmm.
But we would behoove you to also check out the sponsors that we have, like Outlaw Distillery, Ogden's Own Distillery. They're the fine purveyors of Five Wives, Five Husbands, Madame Patarini Gin, the Porter's Fire, the Porter's Peanut Butter Whiskey. Then there's also the Underground. It's like Jägermeister, except not for stupid college teens. So we're classier,
College
and of
teens.
course, yeah, they might as well be college teens. I'm sticking with that.
You just
And
talking about young Sheldon now, or
yeah, it kind of feels like it. Also, yuck. But there's also Bohemian Brewery if you want to up your game from something other than Bud Light or Bush. But we also implore you to check out in downtown Salt Lake City Boostique. Not only do they have some fine glassware, and you can get a better selection of bitters. Looking at you, California. You know what you did. But you could get things like mole bitters right there. So you can make a perfect Oaxacan old fashioned instead of just dumping in bitters like a goddamn savage.
yes,
But and also they do have mocktails there and zero alcoholic drinks. That would be wines or zero alcohol whiskey. Just tell them to point you in the right direction if you don't feel like you want to drink your life away, which that's the only way to do it in Utah. But
what else you gonna do
but
in Utah?
exactly. Well, other than shoveling snow, which is what you're going to be doing at this point, um, I'm sorry. I maybe it's the sunshine and the happiness that's coming over me, or maybe it's the rum and coke that I just had from Old Forester. Not a sponsor, but I would also say to you folks, you should get a TV Tan podcast T-shirt.
Oh
It's
yeah.
only 50. Yeah, we sell those,
Okay.
and it's only $15. You could send us an email with the subject line "T-shirt me now."
Yes.
And be sure to include your name, your mailing address, your shirt size, and if you do PayPal or Venmo, no Matt Damon. I'm sorry, we do not do crypto. You know what you did. Go back in the corner. and you come back when you know what you did wrong. But most importantly, it's $15 plus the cost of shipping. We can get that out to you so you could be as cool as us and rep the only TV podcast that matters.
Yes.
Trademark.
All right. On that note, good night, America.
And yes, you, sir, you jiggle that handle. Thank you, sir. Now off you fuck.
There's only me and my TV
Back from work, Butters?
So, hey, Mom and Dad.
You must be so tired from selling all that ice cream.
Well, yeah, it was a pretty long night.
A long night, he says. That's great, Butters. Only problem is, if you're really working at a job, then why is there $0 in your bank account?
What?
So now what are you really doing, young man?
$0, but I've been working every day.
Oh, sure. I know exactly how it is. You say you have to work so you can get out of the house, get away from the family, and you go down to that glory hole down on 4th and Larimer.
Oh, my God, Butters!
And while your family thinks you're at your job, you're actually strapped face down on a bed at the Brighton Motel, taking any load you can find on Adult Friend Finder. It's the lies! It's the lies! I can't take anymore! I'm gonna go to the office and get some work done!